What's up? It's Marcus with Retro Game Players. Thank you for tuning into this very special video. This is my first pickup video, and I feel like it's going to be a good one. I saved up this video because I wanted my first one to be pretty cool right out of the gates. So this is a collection here that I picked up from a guy that I met at a flea market, a local flea market. And you know, this is something that you always want to make sure you do. You always want to make sure if you go to these flea markets and there's not any video games out, you definitely want to ask, do you have any video games? Because that's what this turned into. This originally was just a seller that I came across at a local flea market who was selling, you know, toys and that kind of stuff. And I did get a couple cool things from him. I actually got like a bin of very cool like He-Man action figures and various other action figures for like $10 for like a little bin of toys. And those are pretty cool. I also got like a 6-foot tall Batgirl comic book cardboard cutout, which is very cool too. It looks nice next to where I have some comics displayed, so that's something that I feel fits in nicely. But I didn't see any video games the day that I first met this guy. Well, I asked him, you know, do you have any video games? And he's like, oh yeah, I've got tons of games. And you know, when you first hear that, you kind of think, oh yeah, sure, okay, what do you got? Like a bunch of sports titles, you know, what are we dealing with? He starts saying things like TurboGrafx. He starts saying things like Box Genesis games, Super Nintendo. It starts going down this list where I'm getting more and more interested. I asked him if he would be bringing these next month at the next swap meet, and he said, you know, he could, but you know, he's so busy and he's not sure, and he does well with the merchandise he brings. So I said, you know, I'm happy to come out and check this out and you know, see what you have. So that's what happened. I went out, drove out to this guy's house, and it was funny, as I was driving there, I had actually realized that I had been to his house before, which is very unusual. And it's also unusual that I saw him at the swap meet and I didn't recognize him. But I had previously, maybe 6 months before this, been to his house because he was selling a very cool R2-D2 beverage cooler. And I actually got that from him. He had it listed on Craigslist for like $100, and I offered him 80, and he accepted. It's a cooler, and you fill it with ice, and you put beverages in it. And anyway, it's pretty cool. No pun intended. That's where I had met him before. And as I pulled up and saw him in the garage, I was like, I've been here before. I got that thing from you. He's like, oh yeah, you did get that cooler from me. So anyway, that was kind of cool how there was a little bit of rapport right off the bat. But I'll tell you what, I failed miserably on this first visit, because what happened was, as I started to look at everything he had, I started to realize that I didn't bring enough money, for one, and two, I didn't really want to lowball him, you know, but I wanted to give him some fair pricing. And so as we started to look at the boxes and go through which games I was interested in, you know, I'm like adding up in my head how much this stuff is worth and, you know, trying to make a fair price. We could not come to a deal. No deal. And that was something that was really sad. He didn't want to come down, and I couldn't really come up because I actually didn't bring that much money with me. I just wasn't expecting what I saw there. I basically saw him at the next swap meet, and he didn't bring any games, so that was fine. But I just asked about, you know, can I come by again? Is there another time that we could do this? I'll try and bring some more money, you know. And basically, he was just busy, so he kind of blew me off a little bit. And that's all right. I just kind of backed off. I was like, whatever, you know. But I was honestly like thinking about these games. Like I was like, oh my god. Some of these games are just awesome. I waited and I ended up calling him like almost before the next swap meet, almost 3 months at this point. And I just said, you know, hey, you know, want to come out again? Is there a time that would work? And long story short, what we worked out was that I was able to go visit and check out what he had. Had to go on his time, which is totally cool. But definitely, I mean, this, you know, I got there, and what we agreed on was basically that anything on eBay, okay, that had been sold, or the average of completed listings on eBay, he would sell me whatever it is for half of that amount. Okay, so that's, to me, a good deal. You definitely have a hard time finding that at a lot of Goodwills even sometimes, you know, flea markets, you know, anything like that. I mean, 50% off of what it's going for on eBay is still a really good deal. Now, there's better deals out there, and sometimes, you know, you'll get, you know, things that just blow your mind. But this was one of those things where if the titles weren't so good, I may have passed them up. But some of these were just so awesome that I didn't really want to miss out. Now, they're not all A-list titles, so let me just say that right up front, but they are a very wide assortment of games. And so, alright, so let's go ahead and tear into this box and see what there is. So, first off, got a bunch of N64 manuals. And the way this came to be was this is at the very end of the transaction. And basically, we just fell shy of a nice round number when we were negotiating by about $5. So I said, hey, you know what? I'll go ahead and round up for you, but throw in those N64 games manuals. So that's what this is. So I've got NFL Blitz, which is a pretty cool game. We actually just did a playthrough, let's play of this, except it was a special edition. So that's a cool game. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2, definitely a cool game. Got the manual. WCW versus NWO Revenge. Now, we just did another Let's Play of this one, and it's funny because the whole time I was referring to this game as the one that I thought it was when I had it originally, and it wasn't. This is actually like, I think the sequel to WCW versus NWO World Tour, and that's the one that I remember playing a lot. So this, I think, is an updated version, which is cool, but for some reason I just really like that other one. I played that one a lot, so I'm gonna have to play the World Tour one at some point. Got Wheel of Fortune, which I'm sure is a great, look at that, it's got the wheel on there, unbelievable, Vanna White's looking good. I've got Tony Hawk Pro Skater, the first manual, so there you go. Off-Road Challenge, which is a kind of cool update to the arcade version. Not a bad game. I do have the 1080 snowboarding guide, basically a little shortcut guide, which is nice. That's kind of cool. It's got all the key commands and everything. Gex 64. That's a pretty good game. This game I love. It's one of the San Francisco Rush series. It's part 2, and I love me some San Francisco Rush. This is going to be like a Nintendo Power mail-away subscription thing. Here's 1080, the manual. Diddy Kong Racing, got the actual piece that flips out, which is very cool to have. Oh, Nagano Winter Olympics 98. You know, when this came out, I rented this one and played the crap out of that game. It was actually pretty awesome. So, yeah, I've got a few of those, and then a bunch of these little inserts for Nintendo Power mail-aways, which are cool. Got the NES Advantage right there, which is, you know, not in the best shape. Needs a little bit of cleaning, but it'll work, and I'm excited about that too. And I don't know if anyone knew that this actually comes off here, but you can switch out different knobs, you know, in case you have some custom one that you want to use. So these are a bunch of N64 games. They're not particularly of high value at all, so just so you know, they're really not, but they're good. So anyway, first off, well, they're not just good, I don't have them in my collection, so that's why I picked them up. So, Bass Hunter 64, there you go. Jeopardy, got that. Got the manual too. Oh, no, that was Wheel of Fortune, so I don't have that one. Cruisin' World, which is a really fun game. Wetrix. Wetrix is pretty awesome. The New Tetris. Not sure I've played that. I don't know what that's about. Lego Racers. It's pretty cool. I'm not sure, but, you know, I know that Lego actually almost went bankrupt at some point, which would have been really sad, but the video games helped pull them out of that bankruptcy. So that would have been like 98 or something that this came out, I'm guessing. But anyway, kind of interesting. Okay, here you go. Superman on Nintendo 64. I know that game's awful, but that one is not in my collection, so now it is. Dr. Mario 64. That's fun. If you like puzzles, that's a good one. The Namco Museum not one of my favorites, actually, only because I don't really like the museum type of games. Nothing wrong with them, I just don't really dig them that much. Micro Machines 64, I've never played that, but I have played the Micro Machines on the Sega Genesis, and I really, really like that game.
Count Micro Machine Man here. I live for the night, so I carry my own light. Micro lights. Touch them like smoke, they really glow, but that's not all. Try these amazing Micro Machines light to sound vehicles. They come with a mighty mini building, have real glowing emergency lights and make two sounds. Check out these super micro lights with lights that glow and passengers to go. Where do you play with this light and sound show? The Combat City playset. There's a happening heliport, military lift, pivoting gun turret, and fantastic firing rocket. But look out, in case of
Alright, so those are the N64 games. Let's move on to the TurboGrafx 16 games. So these were included. Oh, and I just came across a couple N64 items. There's some kind of another mail away, and then South Park N64 manual. So those are cool. Alright, first one, Vegas or Vegas, the Tactical Gladiator. Just did a playthrough of this game. Honestly, I couldn't wait. As soon as I saw this game, I was absolutely stoked because this is one of my favorites on the system. And I know it's not like an amazing shooter, but I feel like it's kind of underrated. Just the graphics are so well done. And anyway, there it is, complete. It doesn't have the little dust sleeve. I also got Devil's Crush. Devil's Crush, which was another one that I just did a Let's Play on. The Ninja Warriors. Now this is actually for the PC Engine. So in order to do the PC Engine, you need an adapter, which fortunately I did pick up from the guy, but I don't know if it's in this box, so I'm gonna have to grab that in a second. But there's Ninja Warriors. This is Aero Blasters, which is a very good shooter. And again, all these are in great condition. I've got Moto Rotor, which is a really weird sounding name. Moto Rotor. Kind of interesting. Now, this is a very uncommon game. You know, this game's worth thousands of dollars. Keith Courage and Alpha Zones. So, if you've ever heard of that one, you know, that's great. But no, honestly, this is a very common game, but it's pretty cool. So, Keith Courage is not a horrible game. This one here is a particularly fun kind of real-time strategy game, Military Madness. I believe it's real-time. It might be turn-based. I haven't played it in a long, long time, and I actually didn't play it on this system. I can't remember what I played it on. It seems like I played it on something like the Neo Geo Pocket or something. I can't remember. But anyway, there's Military Madness. I got Kickboxing, which isn't the most fun, and it's kind of common. You'll see this around from time to time. And then this one, which is another PC Engine game, and it's called Outlive, which I like that name. Sunsoft, got some cool stuff. Yeah, it's got the manual. So again, you can't really play that unless you mod your TurboGrafx 16 or get an adapter. Here it is. This is the adapter that lets you play Japanese games. That lets you play Japanese games on your English system, and I think vice versa. I think you can actually play English games on your PC Engine as well. From what I understand, it just flips a pin inside, and that's all it really does. But these things are not cheap, which is crazy. And when I saw this, I wasn't sure that it was going to work because it actually shows an English game going into a Japanese system. But I'm fairly confident that it will work the other way around, which is going to be something I'm going to test pretty soon. But yeah, there it is. Pretty cool. Okay, so those are the TurboGrafx games. Looks like I missed a couple N64 games here. Go ahead and cover these real quick. We've got Walleya Country Club. I don't know if I'm saying that right. That one's got stickers all over the place. I can't even believe how many stickers there are on that one. Magical Tetris Challenge. That sounds really festive. Roadsters. I like Roadsters, actually. That's pretty cool. If I remember right, that game, as you progress through the levels, the levels change and kind of like tornadoes show up and things like that, if I remember, if that's the right one. I've got Pokemon Puzzle League right there. California Speed. Toy Story 2, which has writing all over it and a Property of Blockbuster sticker. So those are the other N64 games. go ahead and go to the Genesis titles. Let's pull out the Genesis. Nothing major here. We've got the WWF WrestleMania, the arcade game, and that's complete. So that's pretty cool. There you go. Picked up Jungle Strike, which is not very rare, but it's complete. And one thing that's cool about this game, actually, honestly, is it's just kind of fun. I've always liked it. It's like a weird isometric viewpoint. Here's a sequel, or no, actually, Desert Strike. There's one other Strike, helicopter one, but anyway, it's a cool helicopter game. So this one is also complete. Pretty cool. So I picked those up. Oh, just found another N64 game. This is Major League Baseball with Ken Griffey Jr. Alright, so a couple other Genesis games. I've got, I don't know how to pronounce this, Gary's. It's pretty cool. It's not that rare. It's definitely looks kind of rare. Just the box is kind of funny looking. But yeah, that's a complete game, which is cool. Gary's? It sounds like Gary's, but it's, I don't know, Gary's? I have no idea, but there you go. And then I got General Chaos, which is a fun game. I remember playing this one, and it's pretty cool. So complete, definitely a good game. This one reminds me a lot of Pigskin Football, sort of, but it's totally different. And I don't know if it's the same designers or anything, but Pigskin Football for some reason just kind of reminded me of this when I was younger. But all right, and then I've got Devil Crash, which is a Japanese version of that pinball game, I think Devil's Crush. So now this sadly does not have the manual, so no manual. And this is a basically like a Mega Drive cart, so this will not fit in a regular Genesis. In order to get this to fit, you need an adapter. And I was so shocked to see this in the box. Unbelievable. The Honeybee Genesis to Mega Drive adapter. I mean, this is one of the coolest things that I could have hoped for in this box. So basically, you're able to plug in the Mega Drive cart into it, and this will fit in your Genesis, and it'll play, because there's no region lockout chip. So anyway, very, very, very cool to get this. This was one of the items when I first went to that guy's house that I just thought, I absolutely have to leave with that. So, but I didn't. I walked away, and I just waited. So, there's the Genesis titles. And, another straggler N64 game. What's this one? Starshot. Space Circus Fever. That's pretty weird. That's a weird title. Space Circus Fever. So, anyway, there's those games. Alright, so we're getting down to the good stuff. We've got some Super Nintendo games that were in here, so let's check these out. First up, Donkey Kong Country. I'm sure you guys have heard of that one. Second up, Donkey Kong Country 2. I think it's Diddy Kong's Revenge or something. Diddy Kong's Quest. Label's not perfect on that one. And then Donkey Kong 3, which is Dixie Kong's Double Trouble. Double Trouble. Super Mario World. Final Fight, one of my favorite 2D fighters. Sadly, it's only one player, this version, but that's alright. Saturday Night Slam Masters. I like this one. Definitely a cool wrestling game. Super Baseball 2020. That's a good game too. It's got the protector on it. It's the only game with the protector on it. I might have to move that protector to another one. And then I've got Captain America and the Avengers, which has some of the best sound bites on any 16-bit video game. No! So, those are good. Hook. Not the best game. You know what's funny is if you're gonna play this, I personally like the Sega CD version, but that's just because it's got cutscenes, cool music. So that's actually a game I enjoy. Stunt Race FX, which I'm not a fan of this game, but whatever. Picked it up. It's cheap, so there you go. All right, so those are my Super Nintendo games. The rest are Nintendo Entertainment System games, which honestly was pretty much one of the highlights. I mean, these are great. These are great games, these Super Nintendo games. Awesome. Awesome. But, alright, here we go with the Nintendo Entertainment System games. First off, Super Glove Ball. Next up, Wheel of Fortune. It's pretty nice. Comes with the box, or the little sleeve. The Adventures of Lolo. Oh man, Pinball. That's the Black Label one. 3D World Runner. Got Golf, Black Label. Willow! Willow! Do like this one. Got some Mad Mardigan in there. Got Urban Champion. Urban Champion looks to be like a Black Label game. Pretty cool. Castlevania 2, Simon's Quest. Score. Oh, and by the way, Urban Champion has the manual, which is pretty awesome. There it is. So that's cool too. This one has a manual. Sector Z by Capcom. Sector Z comes with the manual. Another one in a sleeve with a manual. Baseball. Just the basic baseball. Comes with the manual. We got Captain Comic in some ridiculous knockoff NES card, I guess. It's kind of turquoise. I mean, it's really weird. It even has a thing that says press here, which is a little strange to me. Press here. But yeah, this is a cool looking game. Not incredibly rare, but it's okay. Spy Hunter with the famous Peter Gunn theme. If you don't know that theme, check it out. Metal Gear. This is before he went solid. So this is when he was still liquid. By Ultra, which I found out from watching another YouTuber's channel, that Ultra is actually Konami with a different label. So I believe that was Fluffy Gamer. Thanks, dude. Thanks for the pro tip. Alright, this one. Super Mario Brothers. It's not the Duck Hunt version, it's just Super Mario Brothers, but it's got the original manual, which is pretty cool. Black Label, I believe. Super Mario 2. Some of my favorite music in any video game. Super Mario 2. Gotta love that soundtrack. And we got Tetris. The original. The original. Which one is this? From Russia with Fun. Yes, sir. The gold carts of Zelda. Beautiful. Beautiful game. And then Zelda 2. The Adventures of Link. Amazing. I love how these carts are gold. And I love Zelda. What can I say? We've got Amagon, which looks ridiculous. It's got some dude on there just flexing like a crazy mofo. Donkey Kong Classic Arcade Series. I don't know if this is black box or not. I have no idea. Black Label or whatever. What's this one? Load Runner with the manual. Load Runner with the manual. And then, oh, The Legend of Cage. Game's pretty cool. Comes with the manual. Oh, got one more back here. This one's actually in a little hard plastic case that says Nintendo, so it's like the old Reynolds. And it's Bubble Bobble, which is a very fun game. I don't know if this is a good arcade port or not. I don't know, but it's a fun game. Oh, there's one more. What is this? Miss Pac-Man, which is another interesting case. So those are the loose games for the Nintendo. I've got some other ones here that are also impressive, so let's check those out. This is almost the highlight. Basically, these games kind of made me freak out a little bit when I was picking these up. So they're not all crazy valuable or anything, but for what I got them for, great deal. So first off, I got Dragon Warrior boxed with the manual. Cobra Triangle boxed with manual. Mickey Mousecapade. I got the Classic Series Metroid boxed with the manual. You know, cool game. It's not as rare as the one that's not the Classic Series. The Addams Family Ice Hockey. This one actually has plastic on it. It is open on the top. Boxed with the manual. Actually, all these have their manuals, so that's pretty awesome. Bionic Commando. He's bionic, and he's a commando. Look out. Actually, the box art on this is pretty awesome. Pretty sci-fi looking. I like that. I like that box. Oh my. One of the best. 1942. Talk about a great game to play on a Saturday morning and eat some cereal. Holy crap. There you go. Got Jaws. Steven Spielberg's Jaws. Pretty awesome. Look out, it's a shark. Doesn't mess around. Gyrus. You know, I don't really know much about this game, actually. Gyrus. So, I'm going to have to just say I don't really know how good that one is. But that's by Ultra, which is the Konami. TNC Surf Designs with the manual and box. You know, this is pretty crazy. This isn't a very rare game. In fact, I actually have a couple copies that I'm going to be selling that are not with the box. They pop up everywhere, and they're usually really cheap. Faxanadu. I don't know. Coming down to the last few here. Karnov. Karnov's a cool game. I remember renting that and thinking it was really hard when I was about 8. Maybe 9. One of the best games ever made, boxed with the manual, Super Mario 3. This game was unfreaking real when I was a kid. I mean, there honestly was not much else out there that was on par with that. And finally, the last one is Popeye Black Box, and it's in great condition. With the manual, box is in like flawless condition. So there you go. That's my pickup, my first pickup video. What do you think? Was that pretty cool? There's gonna be more, you know, but and honestly, I don't know that I'm gonna be able to match the level of this one. This was a score for real, and definitely, you know, had to pay for this stuff, but it wasn't outlandish by any means. It was extremely fair. You know, half off of the going rate on eBay or whatever it's going for is really a good deal. And truthfully, everything that I picked up from this guy were games that I don't have. And so, well, except for the TNC Surf Designs and maybe accidentally a couple others, but I basically don't have any of these. So they were all for me. I'm not going to be selling them. And with that said, there was a lot of other games he had, you know, that I could have picked up and then resold, but I honestly don't like taking the time to do all that. You know, if I accidentally acquire games that are duplicates, I'll sell them and put them up on eBay or something, but I'm not going to like look for duplicates to make money on unless it's just a crazy deal. And 50% off isn't that crazy for me. It's not quite enough. So it's a great deal, but not for reselling, in my opinion. So thank you for watching this first pickup video on my channel, and keep in mind there's going to be lots more videos coming, more pickup videos, more reviews, and lots more Let's Plays as well. So please subscribe and give me a thumbs up if you like this video, and until next time, keep it retro.
We'll forget you something. Stretch out with your feelings.